rules. XMG.
What do you mean, how does he know? He's just checking for him.
Well, there's a lot of Marines to check for something.
He has map control with the Hellion, so it's not all that risky.
Ooh,
that was really bad for XlorD.
Ooh, losing a lot of banelings right here, 3 to 4. Also, DeMusliM will be able to force a cancel on that hatchery. He will be cancelled in the final moment right there. For a second I was worried that XlorD did not pay attention to it. 5 mutas are on their way. First tanks are rolling out already, though. At least he probably has 1 or 2 in his main base already. No, not yet.
DeMusliM scanned a little bit too much for my taste. Like, XlorD can just throw down a new creep tumor now and basically deny it, like, the 0 creep.
Yeah, he only needed to kill the active tumors. The second one was a bit much. This is kind of dangerous for Ben, for DeMusliM. He's going to lose those Marines, probably.
Yeah. Like should lose all of
I'm not sure how many units he has left in his main. As long as he has a bunker up, he'll be okay. But
he did have an armory, so...
yeah, he's okay.
Mr. Turret is up already, so far Ben has really, DeMusliM has been really in control of this game. A couple of Mr. Turrets protecting his main mineral line as well, so that's solid. 82 supply against 76. Small work lead for XlorD, but no turret heads as of yet. Not even a macro hedge in his main base. So
and infestation pit off 2 bases. That's, I don't know. That's really strange. I know European Zergs favor infestor play, but going muta into infestor that fast doesn't seem like it could be good.
Yeah, I think you need at least like 10 mutas to do any real damage. Now he's sitting on 6 and you can't even really harass anything with that.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense, and he will barely be able to take out a single missile turret. Never mind the fact that it could get repaired. He might be able to delay this command center a little bit. That's exactly what's going to happen, but it's just a matter of time before DeMusliM will send an additional SCV. Okay, he's going to lose the additional SCV, but Thor is here as well. Now these mutas definitely going to have to retreat before he's going to lose one of them. Ooh, dropping very low HP on 2 out of 3 mutas.
Yeah, and DeMusliM has actually 3 factories right now, which is a little bit non-standard, much more mech heavy than you see a lot of Terrans play. But
that's very nice against infestors, so it should play into his hands.
Yeah, definitely. With all those tanks, it becomes very hard to do much with infestors until you have a ton of them and neural parasite. And off 2 gas, XlorD's not going to have that anytime soon.
Man, it's going to stay on 2 gas for a while. At least he's putting up 2 more hatcheries, and he does have that macro hedge up right now. Hellion's a little bit out of position, but DeMusliM moving out with a quite scary army already. If I were XlorD, I would be relatively worried about this. Even with the infestors, I really wonder how much damage he's really going to be able to do. But DeMusliM is not going aggressive, since he did build a 3rd command center, just going to float it over anytime soon. A couple of tanks queued up as well. I think so far this game has been going excellent for DeMusliM, no?
Yeah, that push... Well, ideally you just go and kill them and get in their main or do a lot of drone damage, but that was pretty much the best scenario you can realistically hope for as Terran. Control their creep and force a cancel on the 3rd. So that ended up really well. He did lose those Marines, which is unfortunate. You'd rather not that happen. But he's definitely in very good shape. His 3rd base is actually up before XlorD's.
Is that actually an orbital at the 3rd?
I believe so, yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Okay.
He didn't morph it yet.
I think you should definitely make a planetary, considering he has so many factories, he's going to be very mobile.
Yeah.
That is true. In general, he doesn't really like planetary fighters, though, but Zerg is a different story again than Protoss. Against Protoss, he seriously never makes a planetary. Maybe on Cell Naga every now and then, but that's pretty much it. We do see Neuro Parasite going down as well for XlorD, 2 evolution chambers, 8 more drones being morphed in, 2 infestors coming out as well. 73 drones right now against 59 SCVs on the Muslim side, so slowly but steady, I guess XlorD should have a good idea of still be able to win this game, at least make a proper plan. If he's actually going to be able to execute it is a whole different story. But he knows what he's facing, he has the time to prepare for it as well, has a decent economy, not amazing as of yet, but...
Yeah. The only problem for XlorD is he doesn't have a hive on the way, and good as infestors can be in battles, they cannot break a siege position, so he can put absolutely 0 pressure on DeMusliM right now. And once that tank count gets high enough, DeMuslim's just going to be able to slow push him and completely nullify the infestors. He really needs Broodlords before that happens, and no hive yet.
Yeah, DeMusliM must be in a very comfortable spot. He knows nothing can really happen to him right now, and not enough mutas out there. They are barely harassing anything. I don't think they got like any economic damage whatsoever.
88 drones right now, that's pretty much the limit where you want to go, no?
Yeah, unless you play a really aggressive style, then you can go up to like 100, 110 and just constantly reproduce. But he's not going to be able to do that, so he should stop drone production pretty soon. He really needs to be going hive. I don't know why he's not.
I don't know either, Greg.
He does have the gas for it.
I do love this XlorD spinning crypts here as well, having one circling over here. Just making sure that as soon as DeMusliM actually wants to take a fort, he's right aware of it. But now DeMusliM slowly but steady moving forward towards the middle of the map. 7 Marines at once being produced as well. XlorD does have a lot of units, but as you already mentioned, look at the tank positioning. This is going to be really tough to break.
Really good tank spread by DeMusliM. That's exactly what you need to do. The only thing is it leaves you a little bit more vulnerable to Neuroparasite when you have him like that, but it's well worth it.
Here we go, XlorD is going for it right now. Fungal Growth, a lot of Zerglings streaming in. He does Neuroparasite a couple of these tanks. The Tor is there as well. Tor gets Neuroparasited. XlorD actually doing a reasonable job. A couple of Marines do survive. One Tor runs very low in HP. I think XlorD... Nah, he lost a lot of supply though. Well, he's killing a couple
I think it was a really good fight for XlorD anyways. He only lost all his mineral units and has a ton of infestors now being reinforced by 60 more Zerglings. Finally getting Hive and Spire, which he instantly cancelled.
Yeah, DeMusliM... That went a lot better for XlorD than you would have expected, but DeMusliM reinforcing, he still has all those tanks spread out. Not sure how much mana XlorD has left on his infestors. And if you get those tanks spread out, the Zerglings are nice, but they're not really going to do all that much.
Well, he has a couple of infestors with almost 200 energy. Should be able to get a nice fungo off as well. And those Marines, DeMusliM has to be careful that he doesn't plunder off too much. Banelings or Zerglings running in pretty much one by one. Neuroparasite being used on a very low HP tank. This Tor is taking a lot of damage for DeMusliM as well. Actually, XlorD is doing pretty decent once again, cleaning up a couple of these mech units, and now he will be able to clear up those 2 tanks as well. And DeMusliM are actually losing the supply lead right now.
I think it would be really nice to switch to some roaches now, actually, just to have like armor units you can reinforce quickly to just take damage. Going into with the infestors would be really strong, but finally he has a Hive, and considering concepts with Spire, do you think he might just go ultralist?
He already had a Spire early on, that's why he cancelled it.
Oh,
it's his natural, so no, he definitely should go Broodlord. Against a mech-heavy Terran, Ultralists are not particularly good at all. Tanks are very good versus them. And DeMusliM, even though he has, well, not exactly lost, but he has been inefficient on those last couple of battles, he still does have a really good tank backbone up. And the XlorD is actually producing his Corruptors too early. This is going to leave him pretty vulnerable here. And DeMusliM keeps reinforcing, so he should be going for that 3rd base before Broodlords are out.
Yeah, definitely a big mistake by XlorD there. That should be a ton of Zerglings instead.
DeMusliM is building a command center right now. I'm not sure how it's going to be here, so he might fly it just to the 12 o'clock position, but that's nothing for SVS. Once again, creep the 2 months being taken out. A lot of Zerglings coming in from XlorD right now. XlorD not sure if he wants to get in range of the tanks or not. Then decides that it's probably not a good idea as of yet.
I think finally DeMusliM has a nice tank position because it's actually going to be more efficient against Neuroparasite. Yeah. He adapted nicely there.
He really needs a couple tanks a little further forward so he can creep some Marines up into the top left, though. He really needs to take those bases out, or at least put pressure on them before the Broodlords get out.
Loading up a couple of Marines as well. Might just go for a drop at this 12 o'clock position.
XlorD actually being up to 12 Corruptors, you can make a ton of Broodlords now.
First time that DeMusliM is actually scouting this right now, but he will be able to do a little bit of damage, even though there are 3 Spine Crawlers and the Queen as well. But still, Stim Marines, just like Roaches, are pretty good.
And Ghost production has started for DeMusliM, so he does know Broodlords are out, and he will be seeing how well they counter it.
Yeah, but there are 9 Broodlords on the way already, and DeMusliM does not have a single Viking, so he's gonna be in big trouble, I think.
Yeah, he needs to pull back before those Broodlords get out, or he's gonna be in big trouble. That many tanks will actually get counterproductive. It'll just kill everything with the Broodlings.
So
actually Vikings are coming out now, but it's not a lot.
What do you think Best should do right now? Either go for it and try to do as much damage as possible, or just run?
He needed to go for it earlier. At this point, he needed to run like 10 seconds ago. This is a really dangerous position for him.
Here are a lot of Brutals. DeMusliM are using all of his Marines, but they pretty much die instantly. There's still a lot of tanks left, but the tanks doing a lot of damage on each other as well. A couple of goes. I heard Snipe going off, but just not enough right now. We do have Corruption being used on his Vikings as well. That's excellent job right there by XlorD. Even though he's obviously been dominating this fight, still nice that he pays attention to the little things. A lot of Broodlings on the field now as well. Tanks taking a lot of damage. DeMusliM does have, wow, 25 kills in this tank. I want to say just 3-0 upgrades in general. But he really needs to get the Ghost and Viking count now as high as possible and as soon as possible.
Actually, XlorD didn't take that fight as good as he could have done. He wasted all his Zerglings before getting in with the Broodlords. He could have taken out all the retreating tanks if we just have been a little bit more patient, I think.
Yeah, definitely. That went about as well as we could have hoped for DeMusliM. Actually salvaging almost every tank and losing Marines, which are relatively expendable at this point. But it's definitely still not a good situation for DeMusliM. At this point, XlorD's free to just build up a bunch of Broodlord, Corruptor, Infestor. because DeMusliM can't get aggressive until he has a lot of ghosts, and that's going to take a while.
He's putting up 2 more star pistols, so it's going to be a sick amount of Vikings anytime soon. Wow, DeMusliM is actually getting a planetary fortress once more over here on the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock position. Broodlord slowly but steady moving forward. Well, that's going to take a little while. DeMusliM could of course repair this. He does have Vikings as well, not sure how many exactly. He has to repair it as soon as possible. There are a lot of Broodlings over here. Planetary fortress is going to have a lot of kills anytime soon as well. We do see the Ultralisk event going down. Nice fungo right there by XlorD.
Yeah, he's gonna lose all his Vikings, and those 2 ghosts are not gonna be too effective anymore anyways. DeMusliM doesn't really believe in your ghosts, so I think he only does it like half-heartedly.
Not quite enough to deal with 8 infestors. He's committing to the Vikings, but at this point he's just too little too late. There's way too much.
Oh, nice job right there using Neuroparasite on the ghost, even though that didn't go flawlessly. Nevertheless, it's a little show move right there. DeMusliM still repairing his planetary fortress as much as he can. New Vikings coming in, solid micro as well by Ben trying to get his tanks and marines into position right now, but there's still these infestors, and look at the amount of energy on the infestors.
That's almost infinite fungals there. He really needed EMP of those infestors at least.
Well, that planetary is gonna go down pretty soon now. DeMusliM even not having enough money soon to repair it anymore.
Yeah, at this point it's gotten counterproductive. He's actually spent more repairing than he's gonna get from mining it.
Here we go once again. Vikings trying to do a little bit of damage on these Broodlords. One Broodlord might fall on there. There's so many Corruptors, and these infestors as well, making Marines pretty much not an option. DeMusliM needs to get somehow goes. Ooh, the Ultimate Marines, they gotta get fungoed right now. That's unavoidable. And then we do see the fungo of Doom pretty much killing 12 Marines at once. Look at the amount of kills on this planetary 162. But it's not really changing anything. To be honest, like
yeah, it's almost purely Broodling kills, so it hardly even matters. And DeMusliM is securing the bottom right expansions, but at this point it just doesn't matter.
DeMusliM calls GG. XlorD takes the first map after a relatively rocky start into this map. So you just think that Ben waited too long in the middle of the map, should have used his tanks more aggressively?
Yeah, he was in a really good situation there. He spread out the tanks nicely, which dealt well with the Ling Baneling, but then against the infestors it got counterproductive because he was able to neuroparasite them a lot easier.
He didn't seem to reinforce with Marines quickly enough either. Yeah. I think there might have been some misrallies because at some point there were just no new units coming for him.
Yeah, he had a massive supply lead after the first fight, but he just didn't have any units out there. And then once he did finally get his tanks into position, he just pushed too slowly. He really needed to take out one of the top left bases before Broodlords got there.
Yeah.
Do you think it's always worth researching personal cloaking as well to somehow get the EMPs up?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for now it definitely is, because Zergs just don't make overseers in that situation.
I think it always is actually, because you're going to have some Vikings and snipe and can take out overseers.
That's
it's going to be very annoying.
Yeah.